hate puppies.
It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened. I actually do feel threatened right now.
Yeah.
That's a fair.
I feel threatened.
That is a fair statement right there, Brendan. Good job. You just pull that out for fun?
I
or-
just was showing it to you.
That was just a little odd, right?
Keep it in your pants, man. Keep it in your pants.
Yeah, quite literally.
We were talking about it last night. Well, we weren't, but I was talking a lot of gun stuff to a
There was
lot of people last night.
a lot of gun talk last night.
Yeah.
Yep.
For
a lot
those
of gun talk in the
that
area.
need the theater of the mind. Troy just conveniently in the middle of the as the intro was kicking off just goes, "Oh, I forgot I had this," and pulls out a 9mm.
Well, I was showing it to you.
Yeah.
No, it's good. I feel safer
I
already.
didn't pull it out like I didn't draw down on you.
No, it was not pointed, and it takes you aback when someone just pulls a gun out when the intro's starting and you're trying to be funny.
Yeah, that's.
I guess
That's the starter gun for the podcast.
Yeah.
And we're off. Yeah. Good God.
What's that ricocheting around in here?
I forgot I was with a hipster snowflake guy, and he's now upset.
Yeah, I'm triggered.
Yeah, you're
Get
triggered.
it?
Yeah.
Get it?
Isn't that funny? I've never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Triggered
That's the
is
word.
the term. Yeah.
Now Brendan's got to go sit in a safe space over there.
Actually, if you guys don't mind, I would love to go sit in my safe space for a little bit. You guys could take over
With your
from
therapy
here.
dog.
Good God.
So
Yeah,
it's,
well, look, we don't know what. Did you guys hear that, or is that just
What?
my headphones? Okay. Production's through the roof.
Yeah.
Through the roof. Yeah, we're
Sounds
recording on
like-
a Sunday here, so tomorrow is the big Richmond gun rally. I'm hoping that the next time we're coming on, we're just talking about how it was a lot of
Nothing.
much ado about
Yeah.
nothing, you know. And I think realistically it should be.
Should be.
I don't-
Overhyped and underdelivered.
The last place that I would go to go start a bunch of controversy is the place where all the people with guns are.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Definitely.
It just seems like a bad place to start turning over stones.
That's why gun shows are usually safe. You don't hear anybody starting any ish at gun shows.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you don't go to the places where everybody has a gun.
No.
If I want to go, pick on people, go to the dog park.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
No.
Dogs are dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what? Just don't pick on people.
We went looking for dogs today, actually.
Oh God! So this is
Uh-oh.
real.
Yeah.
This is really
Well,
happening.
I went to buy you a fish, actually, but we knew there might be dogs at the PetSmart. And there were, but they had a bunch of hounds and wasn't really what we were looking for. But
Is the wife hell bent on a doodle?
we're hell-bent on, not a doodle, because they're all too big. We want a smaller dog. We want
Okay.
something in the 30-pound, 20-pound.
Why do you want a small dog? What's the logic behind that?
Just easier to transport, easier to take to the camper, easier to less shit, less fur, less everything. Just it's less dog.
Less dog, though,
Yeah.
too. I mean, that goes both ways.
And when you do have a dog, if it's a smaller dog, it's a lot easier for other people to take care of it for
Exactly.
you when you are gone.
Yeah.
Because
I guess I never really thought too
like
much
we
about
like
it.
we want to take it down to the lake. It's gonna be living in the 40-foot camper, so we want it to be comfortable.
Yeah, you don't want a 40-foot dog.
Yeah, and gonna get a pontoon boat, like to take it out on the boat, so it needs to just be able to sit in the corner and not need to run around and bounce off the walls and take up a whole seat. Just
something you might want to look into. One of my mom's good friends has a canoe lab. And
never even heard of such a thing.
It's a lab, but they're bred to be small, no more than 35 pounds.
Never even heard of that.
She had to go.
But see,
the lady
that
got it
has
from-
fur. We can't have fur.
No, this is like short. It's short hair.
Yeah, we need
You need a hair dog.
a hair dog, not a
Oh.
fur dog,
Okay.
because
But
of the
not a-
allergens.
But not so what small dogs do they make that
Like poodles,
like a miniature
like
poodle?
terriers.
If I could recommend not getting a poodle,
Oh, that's
I had a miniature poodle as my first dog.
yeah,
That son of a bitch loved to bite.
yeah.
And I mean, like, bit kids, bit people. Like, he was an aggressive little dog. Poodles, I don't think people realize poodles are actually pretty aggressive
Yeah.
dogs. So I would just caution against.
And they're ugly.
Well, yeah. Well, so are all the doodles because they mixed them with ugly.
But they tend to look more like whatever they're mixed with, just with curly hair.
So I just pulled up
Yeah.
the top 20
These are hypoallergenic
hypoallergenic
dogs. Yeah, get a Bichon Frise, dork.
Or
I like a miniature schnauzer.
Actually, schnauzers are dope.
Yeah.
Poodle, Yorkshire Terrier, the small guys, Shih Tzu,
Shih Tzus are awful.
Maltese.
Dude, have you ever seen a Pomsky?
I like the Portuguese water dog, but those things are good size.
They're amazing. Portuguese water dogs are ridiculous, man. They literally look like Rick James.
Yeah.
They got all that hair going, man.
There you
Oh,
go, the Afghan hound.
fantastic.
That's a big-ass dog.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Those are all big dogs.
Yeah.
Man. So my buddy got a Pomsky the other day, and he took a picture of it, sent it
That's
to me.
a Pomeranian and
husky.
a husky.
So it wouldn't
oh,
work.
they're
for you,
awesome.
But man,
they're pretty, right?
He sent me a picture, and I was like, "Oh, damn, you got a husky! Like that thing's bad." And then I saw a picture like with the dog next to something for scale, and I was like, "Oh, a little tiny,
It's a
dog."
tiny husky.
But like if you just got a picture of it like in a field,
Yeah.
you're like, dude, that's a sweet dog. Like they look awesome.
Yeah.
So they're cool. I wonder if there's a way you could take that and mix it up with something.
Yeah.
I mean, the dog we had was an 80-pound dog, and I like normal-sized dogs. But
60 of it was tumor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Troy had a dog that, no joke, had a basketball on its back.
Yeah, it was literally
Like,
half
it was-
a
That's
basketball.
not good.
It was enormous. It was crazy looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get another one of those?
No.
Tumor ski?
Tumor skin.
Hopefully they'll be bred out of this dog. But, of course, there were some cool hound dogs up there, mutts, hound mixes, but not what we were looking for. So
I went into the pound when I got my first dog, Dixie. I walked into the pound and there was like 5,000 puppies,
Yeah.
all screaming and hollering, and she was the only one just sitting there, not making a sound. And I was like, "Yep, you're coming with me."
That's
So
literally what
took-
I look for in a dog. Like when my wife was looking for this dog, I was like, she was sending me all these pictures, and I'm like, yeah, but which one's not making any noise? She's like, well, there's one under the car. It's just laying there. I was like, yeah, that one sounds awesome. Like I like that dog.
Yeah, the dog we had before we had kids was a rescue, and it was like 4 or 5 years old, and it was like it was the oldest dog there, and no one had been there forever, and we were like, and it was just chilling. We're like, that's more our speed.
Yeah. I like a dog that chills. So are you going puppy?
No, not at all. We want something older.
Like what's older? Like a year old?
4, 5,
So like an older dog.
because ultimately, we don't want to. I don't. Selfishly, I don't want a 12 to 15 year commitment. Like I'd be cool with a 6 to 10 year
Yeah.
commitment.
I've never seen anyone take this angle. Like I hear reasons to adopt old dogs, but you're like, it's because I don't really want a dog, so I want one that's on the way
older
out.
dogs are cool because no one's gonna adopt them. Everybody likes the puppies.
Yep. No, that's
And they're
why
chill.
I get it.
And they're chill.
I'm telling you, with the kids being almost 13 and 15, I'm at the point where they're not into the dogs anymore.
Exactly.
They're doing their own stuff, and now I've got these 2 dogs that are 6, almost 7 years old, and they're going to be around for another 6 or 7 years,
Yeah.
maybe.
And you're doing all the work.
And I'm babysitting dogs now.
Yeah.
I don't get to go do if your wife and you.
Yep.
The kids are gone. You got to take care of another
Yep.
kid.
Well, that's my kids are 8 and 10, and I don't want them to go to college, and then I'm sitting there for another 5 years with a dog that. And in reality, like you said, I use the number 18. No, they're 8 and 10. After 4 years of the dog, they're going to be done with it anyway. So, I don't want another thing to take care of.
Once your kids hit high school, they're not interested in anything that's happening at the house.
Yeah.
Man, I never lost sight of my dog. I love dog. Like I like having a dog next to me. Hell, I'm looking at a car now that I want to get a bigger version just so I can have a spot for the dog. Like I love having a dog next. I guess I never grew out of it. Like even when I was a little kid, I liked it, but when I got to high school, I always had that stupid dog with me. Unfortunately, it was a miniature poodle, and that piece of shit would bite everybody and bark at everything. So like bringing it with me was a giant pain in the ass. But I was like, I do want him around me.
You never went without those, so like you're not used to like not picking up dog shit and not vacuuming every day and not
Yeah.
I mean, you told a dog shit story half an hour ago. Like
That
sounds
story's
awful.
That story's still playing out in the house. Like that story's not over.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some of the little things in life that are nice? Not walking through dog shit on a regular basis. That is phenomenal.
That is cool. I'll give you.
You
that.
wouldn't know.
But I don't do that. I'm constantly stepping in dog shit. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And last night was one of those where I was walking along and like I had stepped in such a monumental pile of dookie that it was like I had a limp.
Yeah.
Like when I was walking, it was like step up.
You were like the
whoa,
kid with
up.
the one fucked up shoe.
The kid with like the extra 4 inches on his shoe. That was me last night.
Walking in circles.
And I'm like, this isn't.
Walking in circles.
And I came back out here to wipe off my foot and found a nice spot in the lawn. I was wiping my foot, and then when I took another step with my other foot, I realized this one now had a 4-inch heel on it.
Yeah.
I was like, son of a biscuit, man. So I was like, I just backed myself up double time, and then I just panicked.
Moonwalking?
So I just went into the house and I moonwalked the whole way to the house, like getting it off. But I think I just kept going through additional piles because now it was on like the front of my shoe, and I was like, oh man. So I just took it off and left it outside and totally forgot about it until I woke up to screams this morning. And,
Speaking of, you have the puppy that I'm assuming is still shitting and pissing occasionally in the house.
No, I haven't seen an accident in
Okay.
the house in about a month.
So
That's good.
a month ago, let's go back a month ago. You also, I totally forgot about this. You have the Roomba, whatever.
Oh, the fear is real.
Did
with
it
that.
happen? Did
No,
it
it hasn't happened. But you see these horror stories.
Pictures.
Yeah, the Roomba fires up and goes across a pile of dookie, and then you come home to find exactly where the Roomba went.
Or it wouldn't be good with piss, I would assume. We just sucked up all that piss.
I don't think it would suck it up. Just spread it.
Well, fortunately, I have a Nido, which actually has a vacuum, so it is sucking, so it would suck up the urine, whereas a Roomba would just brush it around really good and mop your floor with it. Because a
Suck it
Roomba's
up and short it out.
Oh,
Man, I remember
Burnt piss.
this is probably 16 years ago. I got the first Roomba. We got the first generation Roomba.
Oh, really?
And
How awful was that thing?
you mean a cleaning lady?
yeah.
First generation?
Yeah, the thing was it was actually quite big, and it took forever to like clean any space. The battery would run out quickly.
yeah.
And what was the worst was I had a dog and a cat, and at that time the Roomba like container that hold the whatever it sucked up
Yeah, it's itty-bitty.
was the size of
So
a 9-volt battery.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
Tic Tac
it was
box.
like, exactly. It's like, this isn't doing shit.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Have you seen the new ones though that like have docking stations and they offload at the docking station?
Dude, I just saw
Oh, yeah?
that this past Christmas, and I haven't actually had a chance
That's
to
pretty
use one.
smart.
Because we buy them about every 2 years. That seems to be about the lifespan of
So
one
you've
of
had
those
multiples.
things. Yeah, and they all at about the 2-year mark just go absolutely nuts.
So do you still have to vacuum?
No,
No.
I physically the downstairs we do not vacuum unless like something is dropped and it's like
Yeah.
I want to spot get it. But you even could.
If you like dropped a box of cereal, you're like shit.
Yeah,
So-
I got to sweep that
Yeah.
up.
Here's the newest one that offloads like you're talking about, and it's $1,099 off of Amazon.
And that'll last 2 years based on my history. I've had a Roomba and I've had 2 Nidos over the course of the years. But since we got one, I won't go back because my wife is anal when it comes to vacuuming.
Uh-huh.
Like she would vacuum every other day. And I watch TV every day, so this means
You're interrupted.
this means that every other day my TV time sucks.
Dude, something about a vacuum cleaner, just if I'm not operating it, I can't be around it. Like it's just
Yeah, I'm like a dog. I'm like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm getting out of the room. I'm getting out of the house. Like it's such an annoying sound.
It is, man.
So when I do vacuum, do you find yourself making it just like you would cut your grass? Lines, symmetrical, or you just go crazy all over the place?
We don't vacuum upstairs as much as we do downstairs, and most of my downstairs is just hardwood or
Well, yeah, I mean,
floating
my
floor.
house
so.
was in the entire downstairs was hardwood,
Yeah.
but upstairs, especially like the girls' playroom, huge space, just huge, and there wasn't a whole lot of furniture, and I'd find myself in there.
Yeah,
Let's
trying
go,
to make it perfect.
You know, how do the dang maids do it? You know, the house look like I
Yeah, they
can't
do
keep
it.
up.
But I also don't know how people mow their yard and do like the whole baseball field look
Yeah.
where it's got like the checkerboard vibe.
You
Like,
gotta, I think you have to raise and lower the height.
No, what it is they have rollers behind them,
No,
weighted
but-
rollers, and it pushes the grass down in one direction
direction.
and pushes it back down the other direction. So the
Oh,
grass is
interesting.
reflecting the light differently. Like you're looking at the backside of the
Right,
you're looking at the grass falling away from you, then you're looking at it falling towards you. And
Yeah,
it
'cause
just
the blade-
looks
that's
different.
what that makes
Yeah.
sense.
The blade of grass on the backside is kind of like a gray,
Yeah, it's like
and
a
then the other side's
sheen.
green.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
all gray. All
Yeah.
grass.
All grass is gray for you. That's right.
Various shades of gray.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
And the irony is Brendan's always working on his yard trying to get to grow.
Dude, I do. I put in a lot of effort for very little reward.
Dude, my yard is a shit show right now. Like, I mean, I didn't do anything this year, and it shows. I mean, it's awful.
I've often wondered, like, if I took 1 year off, would it really?
Oh, yeah.
So it does.
But you know what you're going to notice probably from this year being a lot more dogs coming by on Sundays?
Yeah, more crap.
More crap. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just cleaning up. But now that it's died down and not everybody's football season's over, your backyard is going to be so much greener than your front yard.
From all the crap.
From the crap and the dog piss. I mean, if you, every time.
Wow, there's some silver lining.
Yeah, you're going to look good. It's already turning
And you've
green
done a
out
good
there.
job smearing it around the
I
backyard.
have. Yeah. I'm hoping that the hardwood comes in real nice in the house because I've been fertilizing the heck out of that, unfortunately.
Oh, man.
Now, my yard still fills in every, like, spring with weeds and green stuff and clover.
Yeah.
And it looks great when you cut it, but other than that. But if you don't have an irrigation system, you're really fighting a losing battle. You're, like, praying to the gods, like, I hope it rains every 3 days, because otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah. I have the irrigation system at my house. And
Every house in my neighborhood has a good lawn, has an irrigation system.
I've got the ghetto irrigation. I don't know if you guys saw that towards the end of the year. So I bought this device that goes onto the actual spigot on the outside of the house, and it has 4 hose attachments coming off of it.
Uh-huh.
And you can set it so it's like allow this hose to sprinkle for 10 minutes. Now do this one. But it's like it's the equivalent of an above ground pool for irrigation, where I literally have hoses running across my yard like a total asshat.
And that kills the grass too. Like,
yeah,
if
so
you
now
don't
I have
move 'em.
lines through the yard.
my favorite sprinkler is the old school tractor that follows the hose.
Yeah,
You know,
I would
as it
like to
spins,
get
it's
one of
kinda
those because those look cool.
they do look cool.
good. At least it's doing something.
And they do a good job from what I hear.
Yeah, I've never actually messed with them. That's why I picked one up once in a store and thought, boy, that's really heavy, and put it back. I was looking at the price tag and then feeling the heft and thought, I'm good.
My luck is like it get caught halfway and fall over or something and just flood out the one section of my yard. And
That sounds about
it's like
right.
I spent $60 on a sprinkler that killed my
it's
yard.
like 100 something.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's over $100 for that thing.
Nice.
That's why I was like, oof, I don't know. Maybe I'll just invest 80 in this system. But it does look. It really is some white trash, tacky, redneck looking stuff out there when I have all those hoses going.
Well, in the past when I've tried to grow grass, like, and I'll get a sprinkler going in the front and a sprinkler in the back, I got to move each one like 3 or 4 times. You're basically stuck moving sprinklers every 10, 15 minutes for like 2.5 hours. And I'm like,
yeah.
You may as well just
every
hose
damn
it.
day,
You may as
like,
well just stand out
yeah.
there. Just spray like an asshole.
Well, didn't have that problem at the house. Had the irrigation system, but I can tell you, if you ever get an irrigation system, get a separate meter. So you don't have to be charged for.
You don't have to
disposal.
pay on the sewage side.
Yeah. Just pay
Never
water.
even occurred to me. This is some old people talk right
Yeah.
here. This is
Yeah.
interesting.
So the way it works is you get charged for all the water coming in your house, and then they charge you for it coming out of your house
Sewage.
as well. Sewage.
But if you just have it as a separate meter, then you're just going to get charged for the water bill, and it goes onto your grass. You don't have
So,
to pay
like,
for
when you're flowing your sprinklers, you're getting charged for sewage.
What kind of savings am I really going to see from doing that?
in about 3 years, 4 or 5 years, I think it's 4 years is what they told us, we'd get back the money we paid, like $700, had to get the county permit when we built the house.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's
So
significant.
long term.
The more you know.
So just an, but yeah, that's old people talk.
This is old people talk.
Speaking of old people,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
whole weekend's been about old people.
Yeah.
It's been ridiculous.
How's everybody feeling today?
oh man, I'm good.
That's an interesting question.
You don't know yet.
Yeah, so
You haven't come down.
confession time. I got up this morning and rolled out of bed, and it was less than an hour from the time that I woke up to the time I had my first drink.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not impressive. But also keep in mind, I didn't get out of bed till 11, so
Yes.
it actually was.
Yeah, checks
I didn't.
out.
I didn't have the kids here, so
Nice.
Yeah, the kids were gone, and I had one of these moments where it was last night. It was after 3 a.m, and I was by myself in the house, and I was pumping Dr. Dre The Chronic at a volume
Vinyl.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was
Yep.
should be illegal. In fact, I'm certain it was.
Are you surprised you didn't hear from the neighbors or the
I'm surprised
police
I
or
didn't hear
somebody?
from my wife, which is a testament to how much she drank last
Yeah.
night. Because that was pumping. Like I was thumping. I looked down at my watch. It was like 3:15. I was like, "Hey, reality check, buddy. what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it was like, what am I doing? I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting on the couch staring at speakers like, they're amazing.
Yeah. And
I
this
remember
music is awesome.
There's a plant in my music room. It's
No
just
kid.
like this lucky bamboo plant.
Yeah.
And I was staring at it, listening to rap like, that's the most beautiful plant I've ever seen, man. Like, I had this like mental love affair with this plant for like 30 minutes, and then it was like, seriously, dude, what are you doing?
And you had a drink in your hand.
I had no drinks.
Oh,
I
wow.
was literally just numb to the world. Like, that plant's awesome.
That's
And
hilarious.
there's music just going. Every 30 minutes, you're flipping an album over.
And your wife was sitting there.
My wife was asleep.
Oh, okay. I thought
don't
she
know
was
what-
still up.
No kids.
No kids in the house.
I was gonna say.
obviously.
But your wife is amazing because on any given night she's in bed between 8:30 and 8:40, I would assume. When I come over here, the lights are almost always out. She's in bed super early. But when she wants to,
She can go.
she can
Just
burn
go.
the midnight oil.
Yeah, and last night was a rare treat. I mean, we had our buddy's 40th birthday party last night.
Yes.
Yep.
And
That was the last party you went to. It was the only party I went to.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and we had a brunch on the calendar, like
good.
with another family that we had to go to. And then when we got there, the wait was so bad that
Oh, grab a drink.
they were
Ooh,
like,
bunker down.
we can get
Hunker
you in
down.
this booth, but there's no way we're going to be able to fit 4 kids and 4 adults in one booth. So they were like, well, or you guys could split up. And so my wife was like, why don't you two go to the bar? And sent my buddy and I to the bar, which is the worst place
Yeah.
you can send us.
That
Because
was so nice
That
of her.
checks out.
So we walked away from the kids,
Yeah.
left all of that there. So then here I am at
So
noon,
the 6 of them jumped in the booth, and then y'all went to the bar?
and we went to the bar. And then we
Nice.
sat there for like 2 hours, and then I came back here to do the podcast. So honestly, I've been drinking before the show today. I try not to do that, but I've had some spicy Bloody Marys, and I'm sure it'll
You're good.
shine through by the end of the episode.
Nice.
So I'm not as hungover as you guys may be feeling from the event last night.
I would be more hungover, but said bar where the event was ran out of beer.
Dude,
So
how does a bar? I saw that happen last night. So we were at.
How late were y'all there? We bugged out around 11:15.
All I know
is
is at one point. So the beer lines, for starters, I've probably said this on the air before. I'm so sensitive since I have a kegerator. I'm always like sensitive to beer lines going bad. Like if they haven't been cleaned enough, I can smell it and taste it.
Right.
It's not going to hurt you. It just ruins the flavor of the
Gums
beer.
up
to
the
me.
beer.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's sour. I don't like that sourness. So I started moving to bottled beer at that point. And I noticed that we had a massive crew out for this
Yeah.
dude's 40th last
Yeah,
night.
we were out for Bomber's 40th.
How many people do you think were there?
50.
If there were less than 50, I'll eat my shoe. I mean, there was a ton of people there.
Yeah. There were
based on-
Wives, girlfriends, and a ton of dudes.
some dudes had their wives and girlfriends.
Yeah,
there,
don't do that. I
which
would
was
advise against that.
awkward.
And dudes came up from Virginia Beach,
Yep.
North Carolina,
Northern Virginia.
like,
yeah, they were coming in from everywhere.
It was
So-
crazy, dude. I pulled them aside.
Gretna. Troy came in
Gretna.
from Gretna.
yeah, so it was a wild time. And then, yeah, sure enough, around like midnight, they're like, no, we're out of bottled beer.
So I started off with the cider. They ran out of Bold Rock. Then we switched to Bud Light. They ran out of Bud Light. They're like, oh, well, you can have Miller Lite. Then they ran out of the Miller Lite. And the last thing I found myself drinking, which I hadn't had in years, was a bottled Budweiser.
Dude, at the end of the night, he's like, I got Budweisers. And I was like, sold. Like, what are you talking about?
Beechwood Age.
Why did you start there?
Yeah, I spent the rest. Yeah, he was like, "We're out of bottled beer, but we have Budweiser." I was like, "Then you're not out of bottled beer." So you're saying all you have is the finest bottled beer? You jackass. Yeah, it was fantastic. But
was crazy.
they did. They ran out of Miller Lite, then they ran out of Coors Light, then they ran out of Bud Light, and then he apologetically handed me the finest American lager. I was like, "Don't mind if I do."
Yeah, he handed me a Angry Orchard draft when he ran out of the Bold Rock, and I was like, "Nah, it's okay. I'll just take it."
You would. I thought 40 was like getting old. So how is it that at 40 years old we're closing down a bar, drinking
Seriously.
all their beer?
Yeah. It
Well,
was.
Are we the problem, or is this normal? Like, is
I
40?
was just getting ready to say the same. I was like, our crew, that's the typical crew. Most places can't handle it when they roll. If we roll in that strong,
But so we're the anomaly.
I don't think so. I just
I don't
think 40 isn't what it used to be. Like, when our parents turned 40, like, my dad is a few years older than my mom, and they were divorced by the time he turned 40, but she got the biggest kick out of him turning 40 because it meant he was done. Like, it was over. Like,
so now they could break up because she's not going to be able to.
You're
He's
40.
not going to be able to bang anyone anyway. He's old.
You're an old man. Like, literally, in all the black balloons, the over the hill stuff. Like, it was a to do.
But that's not what this 40th birthday party last night was. A party. There was no "you're over the hill." I didn't see a single over the hill joke, or balloon or anything.
No,
I didn't have it at my 40th. That was 5.5, almost 6 years ago. But I mean, no over the hill jokes like that. I mean, my brother gave me a pair of reading glasses as a joke, but that was about it.
Brendan, dude, did you know Stu was that old?
Dude, Stu's fucking old. Bro, dude. Stu's been old since I was in college. Like the first time I met Stu, he was like, "Oh yeah, I've already been to college and I've already done a couple tours in the military and now I'm back." I'm like, "Yo, dude, how old are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, and I'm back in college." Like,
It's a good time.
Must be some equal opportunity stuff there. We need some older people here in the university.
It's a geriatric wing of the fraternity house.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to live in the frat house. Can I live on the first floor? Does this have a first floor master?
I noticed the ramp doesn't have the 112 pitch that it's regulated to have. I'm going to need you guys to correct that.
Is this ADA compliant?
Guys, where's the power lift chair on the stairs? I want to go upstairs to the party.
The handle next to the toilet doesn't extend far enough. I'm going to need you guys to upgrade.
Oh, shit.
We saved all our old jokes for today.
You put in the walk-in tub.
Oh.
Shut the door behind you.
Yeah. Stu just takes his bath, his loofah.
What's that company that makes the damn tub?
I assume you know. Don't act like you don't know.
Those commercials kill me.
No, but like 40 is 30 now. Like, it's just.
But I've always wondered, are we just saying that? Like everyone says 40 is the new 30, 50 is the new 40. Are we just saying that, or has something changed? Because if you go back to the late 1800s, like Civil War time, life expectancy was like 32.
Yeah. Well, you probably got shot.
Yeah, there were a lot of things. But yeah, like water would kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a problem.
Well,
Dysentery.
like, I don't know how it was in your house, but like my parents, my grandparents, in their 60s, they were fucking old. Like, really old.
I guess.
And my parents now that are in their late 60s, early 70s, they're still active doing shit all the time. Like, my grandparents didn't do shit. Like, there's old people.
Yeah.
Like, my first memories of my grandparents, the ones that are still alive, they were as old as they were the day they died. Like, there's not, like,
they were always old.
Yeah. They stopped the aging process.
Yeah. My mom's mom died when she was, like, 66, and my first memory of her was, like, being an old lady that couldn't drive at night. Like,
and she was in her 50s at that time or something.
Yeah, probably 40s or 50s. Like, but she was just.
It's kind of weird. I guess maybe the way you picture it or the way you remember. Because my grandfather, I was born in 74, and that's the year he retired from Exxon.
74, we got
it. He worked, like, he retired in 74. He lived to be 97.
Yeah.
But my entire, I mean, he passed away 6-7 years ago, but
he was,
my entire life, he was retired.
Yeah.
Didn't seem to age and just did everything. But to your point, the life expectancy, medical health, your health, everything, everybody's living longer. So,
well, maybe it's because we're treating our bodies like temples.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, last night.
I mean, what the hell? This weekend, I haven't eaten anything that wasn't fried and drank anything that didn't make me feel funny.
Luckily, last night, all I did was drink Coors Lights, which I'd heard a new nomenclature. The bartender said, I said, take Coors Light. And he comes back, he's like, here's your Colorado Kool-Aid. And
there you go.
I've been drinking Coors Light for freaking 20-some years. I've never heard that.
Yeah, you had it in a pint, and I said, what you drinking? He said, Colorado Kool-Aid. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, it's Coors
Fair
Light.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I thought it was cool.
That bartender last night was working. He was doing a good job.
Dude, he was, man. The tatted up one.
Yeah, the one who like at first you were like, is that a girl or a dude? And then by the end of the night, you're like, he's all man.
Yeah.
That dude's a man.
I do have to say, I'd never seen a bartender jump over the bar so many times going, like, they didn't have a bar back or something. He was up and over the top of the thing
and
all
he kept
time.
doing all the weird cocktail shit, tossing the bottles and like glasses in the air. And I was like, yeah, man, keep doing all that kind of fun stuff for me. I like that.
Normally, I hate tipping bartenders because I just drink beer and it's like they're cracking the top and handing it to you.
Yeah, but he was working.
That dude, he was giving me tall beers, and every one I had, he had to go to the front bar to get. I was like, he's like, I don't have the first one I ordered. I said, you got Coors Light? He's like, at the front bar, and I said, well, dude, I'm not gonna make you. Just give me a bottle. He's like, I don't mind. I was like,
you're like, but bro, I'm gonna need 12 of those.
Exactly, yeah.
So you're the reason he kept hopping over the bar.
So when my tab was like $70-some, and I was like, you get $25, dude. Like, you earned it. Like,
a good bartender's the best.
Yes,
like,
and there's few and far between.
Unfortunately, in this day and age, it's hard to find
it's probably
a really
all
great,
service people, really.
But good bartenders,
good
they make your
waiters.
night. Like, you'll go back to a bar that has a good bartender.
Oh, yeah.
Time and time again, because you know you're going to get your drink quickly.
Yep.
They're not going to be dicks to you.
I hate when they don't acknowledge you. Like, you just stand at the end of the bar for
that dude would
15
acknowledge
minutes.
you the whole time, even just to say,
oh, yeah.
I'll be back.
And
Cool.
actually, the guy working with him was good, too. Like, I would catch eyes with him, like, and they'd be like, you good? And I'm like, nah, I'd have, an inch left. I'd be like, I'm okay for now. Like,
Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that was the back bar was reserved for us, and he was hustling because
but it was full of other people too.
Well, it was reserved for us, but his work ethic, he could have slacked for us just as well as he could have slacked for anybody else. But I guess he knew, like, hey, these guys are pounding them, and we're gonna get good tips. I mean,
there was a moment last night where we were all standing outside, and like people are sitting around smoking cigarettes, like just hanging out, and this really good-looking Asian girl comes, like, out the door, and there's, like, 10 dudes standing outside, right? But everyone had, like, just finished all their cigarettes, finished everything, and she is so smacked, like, just hammered. And she's like, anyone got a light? Like, someone lights her cigarette, and then she's like, what are you guys doing? And, like, she's obviously, like, looking to find somebody to hang out with, She's all like, what are you guys doing? Like, the first group of guys she comes up to is like, hey, what are you guys up to? You guys hanging out? And they're like, yeah, have a good night.
Was this our group?
Yeah, and like,
okay.
and walked inside because it's all like married dudes.
Yeah.
And so like 3 dudes go in, and then she like saddles up to kind of like the next group. You guys hanging out? You guys here for and then like 3 more dudes just go inside. And then I'm, like, stuck there at the last group, and I was like, I'm not going to be caught out here talking to her. Like, I don't want to be the one. Because she's hot. Like, my wife looks out and sees me chatting up this hot Asian girl.
Isn't that funny that there's, like, a sliding scale for that? Like, if she was a 2, you'd be like, yeah, what's going on?
No, she was so hot that it didn't. it worked against her.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If she was a 2, you would have chatted her up for another 10 minutes.
My wife wouldn't have cared. I would have just stayed out with, like, to
if
be
she's
the nice
a 10,
guy.
you're shoulder rolling back into the fucking bar being like, I didn't even see her. I don't know who you're talking about.
So literally, I'm in this last group, and I'm like just there's like walking back in, and you see her, like, this look on her face, like, through her drunken haze, like, what the hell did I just walk into, like, a homo party? Like, what the hell is this? Like, none of these guys want anything to do with this. And, like,
yeah.
I felt so bad because she had this look on her face of just absolute disgust. Like,
was she that hot that she needed to be, like, pegged down? Like,
no, she
she wasn't used to not getting attention.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And for everyone to just go inside, she had this look on her face like, fuck you guys. You guys are all assholes. Like, what the hell have I done wrong?
She did roll up on the wrong crew because, like, 90% of the guys there had a significant other with them.
Oh, and they were all right inside the door, like, looking out this glass, this wall of windows, like, watching this dime keep approaching us in our different groups. And everyone just kept peeling off. It was just a weird thing because I was like, this never happens to her.
First group of 3
Ever.
guys came in. They're like, see, honey, those assholes are out there still talking to her.
Yeah. What would you like to drink?
I felt bad for her, though, because she was obviously just, like, looking for someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
She was doing everything right.
Girls like that don't even know how normal world is because they just get attention all the time.
Probably.
Yeah, and she completely got the wrong side of it last night. And she was like, these guys are the worst. Like, I've never seen such a bunch of jerks. It was very interesting.
So, yeah, I didn't drink any liquor last night, so I wasn't feeling too bad this morning. And we didn't have the kids last night. We stopped by the New Sheets on the way home and got some food. We hadn't been there yet, so that was a lifesaver at midnight to get some sliders and fries and all that stuff.
Dude.
Loving the New Sheets being open. I'm
wife,
loving this. Your wife's killing it. I've never even had one of these.
My wife must have just heard me talking about the the girl from last night. See, thank you very much.
Do we know what's in this?
Yeah, my wife just brought us uppers and downers. This is a spiked coffee. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Sorry.
So this is all right. There's a place called.
Does this make the podcast sophisticated?
There's a place called Tarnished Truth. It's in the basement of the Cavalier Hotel in Virginia Beach.
Okay, I've been there.
They opened a distillery there.
Yeah.
And so this is something they make that they call bourbon cream. And every chance I get, I buy this stuff because if you just make a coffee and pour a shot of this bourbon cream in there, it immediately turns into like a dessert coffee.
Yeah.
With no effort. You know, like making a dessert drink can be challenging. You got to get it right.
You got to get it just right.
This is literally just pour a shot of this in whatever coffee you make, and it's on.
So she called it a boozy espresso?
Yeah, but don't let Pat hear you say espresso. He will freak out.
Espresso. I don't drink espresso, so.
Which brand is it?
The Tarnished Truth Bourbon Cream.
Tarnished Truth Bourbon Cream.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Look it up. It's fantastic.
And I'm drinking out of the Kennedy mug here. It looks like you made this at one of your pottery outings.
Dude, doesn't that look like a child made it? So, no joke. My daughter was having one of those parties that like all fired up or something. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm going to join in because one of the kids didn't show up, so there's an empty spot. They were like, what would you like to make? I'm like, a coffee mug. And then I made it, and I drew my face on it and wrote my name. It looks like a 4-year-old did it, so it looks like I have a retro coffee mug that I'd done as a child. It is so bad, and it looked bad amongst the children's.
I've seen this logo before.
Yeah.
I've seen you draw that logo, and obviously your medium is not
a mug,
a mug with a paintbrush,
a round surface.
Dude, it was so hard, and these kids are like knocking it out of the park. They're like, "Look, it's a giraffe," and I'm like, "Mine's a face that looks like it's dying."
Dude, this is really good.
Isn't that ridiculous?
It is really good.
Next time I go to the beach, I'm getting some of this stuff.
So you can actually get that in Virginia ABC stores.
Oh, nice.
Go over to the Virginia section and look for the Tarnished Truth Bourbon Cream. Boom. You now have dessert coffee.
You just put a shot in.
You make a coffee, pour one shot in, call it a day.
So I know you and your wife drink a ton of coffee and do espressos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Can you just make a cup of coffee and put it in there?
Absolutely.
Okay. But what is this? Is this like high octane stuff?
Yeah, you're gonna be buzzed 2 different directions.
Nice.
Very quickly.
Nice.
Yeah, this is what got Belushi and
you have that
Farley and all those
Farley.
guys?
That's what I was. God,
You just had a stroke.
this day's getting away from me.
I saw Brendan's eye twitch.
So we didn't talk about it. I mentioned it. So the last party you went to was the Bombers' 40th, but you've been to like 2 or 3 other parties yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday started with me at Skate Away, skating around.
Yeah, how was that?
That was crazy because 3 kids, like my daughter was invited to like 2 other birthday parties. All the parties were there at the same time.
Oh, no.
So it was like the entire elementary school was there.
Nice.
But like only certain kids could go in and like have this cake.
Yeah.
And so it got weird. There was one point
You're like,
where
you can go in room A.
Yeah, but you can't go in room B,
yeah.
but you can go in room C.
How does that work? So basically, all the kids know each other, but there's 3 separate parties, and not everybody's invited to the same party. So
one little girl walked in our room and sat down, and my daughter, not meaning any, like doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh, you weren't invited to this one."
Yeah.
But then she was like, "But we have extra pizza," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, thank goodness!" Like,
Yeah.
I was just, if she had just ended it at that, I was like, "You're kind of a B."
She pointed to the door. Get out.
Yeah,
this
you
seat
can be in A and C, but not in B.
Yeah, this seat's taken.
And then that girl kind of looked at me, and I was like, "Cake?" Like immediately cut her
Yeah,
cake.
yeah.
I was like, "Anyone who walks in this door can have some
Yeah,
cake."
exactly. Until we're out of it, everyone.
I don't want this crap.
You're just a random patron. Have some cake. I don't want this shitty sheet cake.
So
Exactly.
did you slip on some 4 wheels and get out there?
I did.
Yeah, we did.
I did.
Nice. Yeah.
I tore it up, man, cruising around. I'm not very coordinated. I'm not very
Hey,
coordinated.
I don't see any cast or you're not walking with a limp, so it was a successful day on the floor for you.
Oh, I got an injury this weekend.
Oh, you did?
I had a pretty significant injury on Friday.
The dog shit one?
No, I was brushing my teeth and I blew out my neck. I'm not
Oh, my
kidding.
God.
I'm not
Ow.
kidding. Friday morning.
Aggressive
Yeah.
toothbrushing?
Yeah. Friday morning, I get up, I'm brushing my teeth, and all of a sudden in my bathroom, you hear, ah! Like, just this scream, and I couldn't move my head like all day Friday.
It's because Brendan holds the toothbrush still and moves his head instead of the other way around.
So I actually
Yeah.
I brush and move my head. But
Yeah.
it's very aggressive. I go through toothbrushes like every couple weeks.
Just wear them down.
Yeah,
to
they
the
just wear down. 'Cause I like attack my mouth, and I just threw my neck out. I spent the rest of the day in front of a computer with a giant heating pad on my neck, and I'm thinking, I'm getting so old.
We're gonna have to run back to 40s. Not that old.
yeah, come on.
Yeah, I damn near blew out my neck brushing my teeth.
That's the problem. We think we're still young, and then you have a toothbrush-related injury. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
all right, never mind.
How'd you hurt yourself? I picked up a tissue.
And the
Blew
last
my
2
back
weeks,
out.
the last 2 weeks, both injuries I've sustained. One was from jumping up stair contest, pulling a hammy, and then brushing my teeth.
The best is when you're like, my foot hurts, and the wife's like, well, what'd you do to it? You're like, I was just walking.
Yeah. I wasn't doing anything. I brought it up on a call. Like I was meeting with a client and talking to them, and I was like, yeah, I kind of blew out my neck this morning brushing my teeth. Dude's like, bro, I get it. I threw out my back. I sneezed the other day, threw out my back. I couldn't do anything. And this dude's like in his late 20s. I'm like, all right,
There you go.
cool. That makes sense.
What did the first person that ever happened to have to go through their mind and the people around them? The first person to literally blow their back out sneezing. The world, they must have thought the world was ending. Like,
Yeah.
you're dying.
Yeah.
You're dead.
The guy told
Just
me.
doubled over from a sneeze and can't stand upright again.
The guy told me that somebody had called into work the other day there and said that they stepped on a sandwich. And he was like, I assumed she was bullshitting, but then I was like, who makes up I stepped on a sandwich and screwed up my back? Like, how does that even
Yeah.
work? I stepped on a sandwich.
You know, you've had it happen.
Yeah.
We've all stepped on a sandwich wrong.
What? Like that whole thing is so ludicrous that and either she's like a mad genius where she's like, I'm gonna say the most ludicrous shit,
Yeah.
and they'll just never question it. Or she just had some screwed up moment. She dropped her sandwich, she stepped on it, she slipped a little and like threw out her back. But the only context she gave was, I can't come in today. I stepped on a sandwich and it hurt my back.
How do you even have a doctor's note for that? Like,
Yeah.
No doubt.
The worst is when you. I've done it a couple times coming down the stairs when you're not paying attention and you think there's one more step and you just slam into the bottom and you're like, ugh, and
dude, I did that at
jam your
work,
back up.
my old job a couple years ago. I literally I was looking. I don't know what I was doing. Who knows? But I missed the entire last step. And
Oh, if you think you're on the floor and there's another step, no,
Yeah.
you fall right on your face.
Like, I thought I was stepping onto the floor.
Yeah, you're
and
over.
missed step
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's your
and
face.
It was in a stairwell. So, like, I crumbled into the floor, into the wall. And I was walking with a coworker, and he was like, oh, my God, dude, are you all right? And I was totally fine, except my ego had taken a huge fucking hit. And I was like, I'm just going to lay here for a second, dude. I don't know what happened. Like, I walked up and down the flight of stairs for 9 years. Like, then I'm like, today I'm just going to I'm not going to hit the last step.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me if I'm like carrying boxes.
Yeah.
so like
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
you can't
seeing, you
see,
just
yeah.
think. But I've never had that happen where I'm just like walking along.
I was just
all my
bebopping
field
down
of
the
vision
stairs.
is right there to assist me. Like,
I was headed down. I was going outside, leaving the building, and just crumpled into a heap.
Yeah.
That's brutal,
Yeah.
dude.
And you feel like when I did it last time I did it, I felt fine. Like I realized what I did it hurt for a second, and then I was fine. The next morning when I woke up,
Everything sore.
everything was just jacked.
That kills like 60-year-olds and 80-year-olds. Like,
Yeah. And occasionally the 40-year-old.
yeah.
And you're down.
What's crazy is when your kids were young and you watch them just eat shit and how they can just roller skating is a prime example. Like,
I watched a little girl yesterday lose control, wipe out, and then crash into like the curb there.
yeah.
Crashed into the curb. You saw her whole body just retch and go over, and then like her shin crashed into it. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. Like,
That
she's
day's
done.
over. Yeah.
And she looked around and was like, all right, we're cool. No one saw that. And, like, she just got up and kept going. I was like, that would have been the end of my life.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
They bounce back. It's crazy.
They're like rubber.
So do we, apparently. Look at us.
Yeah.
We're still in our
back.
prime.
Still in our prime.
How do you
Dude,
get going?
this coffee is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel totally different.
And I can feel it. I
feel
definitely feel
totally
it running
different.
through my
because the
body.
espresso will jack you up
Yeah.
quick. Especially that machine we've got in there. It's some high octane. It's one of those Nespressos. They're just fantastic.
Do you have to put anything in it, like when you drink it? Like, do you put cream and sugar or any of that stuff in it?
You don't have to, but I mean, you can.
It's like coffee, makes it taste better.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had my druthers, I'd put Tarnished Truth bourbon liqueur in it because that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the cream. It's
a good amount of creamy, good amount of sweet.
It's perfect. It literally is just dessert coffee without
How did she come up?
any effort.
She's never offered to make these, and today she's like, "Hey, do you guys want these?" I'm like, "Yeah." Are you tricking me? What's going on?
Yeah, we're probably just all ingested cyanide. You know?
Faint levels of arsenic in here.
Well, this is a Sunday podcast. Welcome to Coffee Talk. We're talking about our coffee and our
Injuries.
Talk amongst yourselves.
No, she loves this stuff.
I could drink.
Yeah, we
Three
do
of
this.
those. I could drink those like.
I discovered this. I was at a bourbon tasting festival and was just going around tasting all these bourbons and scotches. And then I happen upon Tarnished Truth, and they have this one cream, and I'm like, let me just get a taste of that. And I had one taste of it, and I immediately knew that is perfect for coffee. I told the guy, I was like, you got to put this in coffee, right? And he was like, oh, dude, yeah. We do that all the time at the distillery. I was like, well, you should probably lead with that, dumbass.
Yeah.
This stuff is a winner. You just have it out here amongst your bourbons.
Yeah.
People don't want that. You gotta give them a little more. But so I bought a bottle immediately, and now they have it at the ABC store. So I've been picking it up.
That's awesome.
Every time I go in there,
that's a dope spot too. The Cavalier, we went down there last July 4th. We go down and stay with my sister. She lives right around the corner from there, and she took us through and toured us the place.
Did you get to see the distillery?
Yeah, we went downstairs. It was closed, but we got to look in
you
it.
saw it.
Yeah, it was in the basement.
Yeah, so they bought up the whole basement of the Cavalier Hotel and just put a distillery in there, and they do pretty good stuff. They also make a gin, like a bathtub gin, that's pretty good.
Oh wow,
nice.
Yeah, I haven't been in there. Like I said, I just met them at the.
Is this a single shot?
Yeah,
just a single shot in a cup of coffee.
Single shot in a cup of coffee. I mean, the recipe could not be any easier.
Yeah,
it's literally a single shot in a cup
Can't
of coffee.
mess it up.
And that's what I love about the recipe, because people are like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good." So after dinner, you make people these. They think you've pulled some.
It's a great after dinner drink.
Yeah, and they think that you've pulled some magic out of your hat.
Yeah.
You literally just.
You're like, let me go into the lab.
yeah. I think the nutmeg's dried. I think we should be good. Let me go figure this out.
No one come in here. You can't find my secret recipe.
They shut the door behind you. You just go in there.
Yeah, because I
have a scotch and then walk back in and be like, I did it.
Little constructive criticism, if I'm going to tell you. Don't give it in a child's mug.
Put it in a child's mug.
Put it in the. Get some fine crystal for your after dinner guest and really fancy it up.
Truth be told, that's not a child's mug. A grown man did.
The blue and the orange, they really come through. So, yeah, but I can't. I mean, most of the time with the coffee, I'm just black coffee and a little pinch of sugar. But this tastes great.
We tricked them.
I like coffee with heavy whipping cream.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is perfect. This is just better than like Kahlua or something like that. It's just got a different flavor to it. And it's just better. Well, there we did a deli. Before the deli,
double deli.
Are we? Is it deli time?
Yeah, but I'm jacked up now.
I'm a little the temperature in here is.
Yeah,
gotten a little.
I am a little amped up. This is
yeah. Here we go.
Having a ton of fun.
It changes up now.
So this is
Whammy.
What size bottle is this? A 750?
That's a big old bottle. What did you buy us?
1 pint,
9.4
fluid ounces.
Anytime you leave Troy in charge of the deli, you never know what you're going to
so
get.
last night, Brendan's like, we're drinking, we're talking about podcasting today, and Brendan's like, oh, I didn't get deli. I was like, dude, I can get that. He's like, dude, you can do that? I was like, of course, I can do it whenever you just let me know when. He's like, dude, that'd be great. You'd be really help me out. I was like, I can do it. It's no big deal. He's like, what are you going to get? I'm like, I have no clue, dude. You just told me now. There's no thought process into this.
There is. I take it very serious.
Don't pressure the man. He can't handle it. Let him just.
Here's how I do a deli. I'll walk him down the beer aisle until I see a label that doesn't look familiar and go, I hope we haven't done that one before.
That'll work.
But this is the Challenge the Bear. This is in a wine bottle, basically. Challenge the Bear Baltic Porter from Licking Hole Creek. It says with graham cracker, honey, and a touch of peanut butter. So I'm very, very interested in this. It's a local brewery.
Yep.
We like Licking Hole Creek.
I like Licking Hole Creek because it's on a farm.
Yep.
Like you can go out there and you can hang out.
But doesn't that sound interesting? Graham cracker, honey, and a touch of peanut butter?
How much booze is in that? I'm already concerned. Anytime you give me a bottle like that, on top of the fact that I've already just had uppers and downers and I've had a brunch, I'm concerned.
8.5.
Oh, that's
It's not too bad.
This is how far I am in my day. I'm like, oh, that's fine. No, that's literally twice as strong as the beers I should be drinking. But I'm like, oh, totally acceptable.
I'm just going to pour this into my boozy mug.
Don't you think that could taint your flavor? I think you should pour them in here.
You think?
Yeah, because this already has complex nutmeg, weird flavors, and graham cracker and weird stuff.
Is it peanut butter too?
It says peanut butter on there.
Yeah, I don't trust this thing at all. I already hate this beer.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Where's Ely when you need him?
Troy bought the deli. I'm out.
It was $12 for the bottle at Kroger.
Okay.
I'm not even know how to phrase my feelings right now.
This actually looks like my espresso.
Yeah, it does.
It's
There's a little left if anybody wants
Ooh,
more.
I'll take it. I hate it.
You already try it?
No.
just give him more. He's trying to complete his day right now.
I just refuse to enjoy it.
All right, well,
Let's find out. It's a little foamy.
little heady.
Yeah, so I don't want to.
Bad pour? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean you can't pour out of a bottle like that and get it to work, especially with these thick, dark beers like this. They're always going to get some head on them.
It always helps if you actually pour water in your plastic cups ahead of time.
Really?
Yeah. The plastic cups just will foam up most about anything, but if you rinse your cups out first, then pour it in.
Ooh, I'm a prophet.
Never heard of that.
Sorry,
You're a prophet.
I just had my first step. I saw the future earlier.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The same way Teddy Grahams are. Crap.
You eat the whole box in one sitting.
Exactly.
These things suck.
Like Teddy Grahams are the worst graham. Well, this says, they should say not graham cracker with Teddy Grahams.
Is that what you're tasting? You're tasting Teddy Grahams?
I'm tasting sourness, but I think I'm working through the shift from a bourbon cream to this, honestly.
I'm not tasting the graham, the honey, or the peanut butter in my first two sips.
And unfortunately, on their website, I can't find out more
It's a
information.
shit website.
They just have the labels of all their beers.
Well,
They don't have
honestly, I have good eyes, but if you want to try to read that bottle, that label is almost impossible to read. I don't know who designed it. Some
It's like an old English
graphic
script.
designer would like.
Yeah, let Stu get in there. He'll fix it.
The colors are all weird. Like it's just not easily.
It looks
Yeah,
like a
it
Game of
does.
Thrones reject.
It
Yeah.
is. Let's see here. Man. You know
Actually,
what?
that beer is changing my perception as I drink it. It's a little like, is there a sourness to that?
There is. It's and with the graham, honey, and peanut butter, I'm expecting sweet.
Sweet. It's sweet, but it's sour. I don't know what that is.
It's got
Maybe
a
I'm-
weird aftertaste. But to me, if you had not told me graham cracker, honey, and peanut butter, I wouldn't pick up on any of those notes.
Well,
I think
the biggest thing is better not have a peanut allergy.
Why? Because of the peanut butter?
They say it on the little bottle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like this thing contains peanuts. It's
What,
like, it's a warning.
good ones.
What's a
dude.
Baltic porter?
I
Do we know?
I don't know.
Well, why challenge the bear? That's interesting.
Well, all their stuff has bears.
There's
Oh,
nothing
is
on
it? Is that their?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a lot of
There's
bear
nothing
stuff
on this
going
label that's any vanilla, cinnamon.
There's
hard to read.
it's definitely got vanilla because that's what that sweet sour is. I think that's precisely what that is. It's interesting. I taste some of the graham there. I definitely taste some of the honey and the sweetness.
Yeah.
I'm picking up a little honey, but
There's definitely.
not. I was looking forward to the peanut butter and the graham cracker. I was like,
No one does a peanut butter or graham cracker beer right.
I know.
Have you ever had it?
No.
I mean, the close thing, they do that.
Why is it so hard?
Sweet Baby Jesus is like a
that's a pretty good one.
That's about as good as it gets, and it's not great. Stu, you want to drink that beer because we're going to start you off as the.
I'll give it a 3.5. I actually like
Damn!
it.
Oh wow!
Wow, he just came right out of the box.
Coming out of the gate.
He didn't even talk about the marketing. He didn't talk
Yeah.
about anything. He just like the best. I love it.
It's good. It was,
I'm all hopped up on espresso, and I 3.5. 3.5 is the best I've ever had.
Diarrhea of the mouth.
Jeez, I've never seen Stu come at it so quick. Oh, me 3.5.
just saying.
I think maybe I'm the one who's
Usually
jacked
there's some crickets there, but he's ready today. He's fired up.
Really was. Stu, what'd you think of the beer?
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Okay, Stu, good review. Good review.
You know,
Take it.
I could sit and drink this.
we all know
It's
what he
pretty good.
means when he says it like that, don't
He
we?
does. I mean, he really liked that beer. I've never, no tasting notes, no fucking nothing.
Yeah.
It's just better than your beer.
Hallelujah. Holy shit. Where's the Tylenol? Thank you, Stu. We got it.
3.5 for Stu.
Great
Okay.
review.
We'll take it. So Stu's a big fan of the Licking Hole Creek Challenge the Bear Baltic Porter.
Yes.
All right.
I think I said
And
it.
the overall label's really good on the marketing.
I think it was $12 for the bottle. Like, that's a bottle of wine right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't like this kind of beer. Like, it's just because you can't drink them. And I
Yeah.
like to drink a bunch of beers. But if you're going to sit down and have one beer, this beer's really growing on me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, Stu, I make fun of you, but it's from a place of love. I do think you're onto something here. This beer,
It's good.
when you smell it, that's where the honey is. You take a
In the
big,
nose.
take a big inhale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You'll find the honey there. It's very interesting. I guess the honey's a ode to the bear and the graham cracker. And
Yeah. It definitely is growing. I think it's
That's not a beer that I could put down multiples of
Yeah.
for sure. But that's
Yeah.
granted, it's a heavy beer.
that's why it's in a wine bottle.
It's a thick beer. But if you wanted to split a beer with somebody and they like complex dark beers,
They make some high octane beer on this
They do.
website.
so if you like a complex dark beer, I don't think there's anything about this beer that you're going to dislike unless you're kind of anti-sweet, because there's definitely some. It's a little sickening sweet
For
Like,
a porter, yeah.
Yeah, if you had
Yeah.
if you had more than 2 or 3 of these, you'd be like, ugh, so sick. And I got a bad feeling I'm gonna have phlegm from it. I don't know why. I just get that vibe. This is gonna be like,
It's a cream.
This would be a
oh,
good,
it could just be the fact that we just had a bunch of bourbon cream. But I'm over here like having a little phlegm.
This would be a good after dinner beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing for guys who haven't had dinner. We're killing it on the after dinner drinks tonight. So I think I'll actually go with Stu. I'm willing to go as high as 3.5. If it was less sweet, it may lose some of what makes it good.
Yeah.
But if it was less sweet, I'd like it more.
Yeah.
And then it could move up into like that upper echelon.
But
But I'm going to give you that 3.5, Stu. I think it's a 3, but your energy got me so pumped that I'm going to
like
give
it.
it a half point. So I'm going to give it a 3.5, even though it's a 3.
I just wish it had that more peanut butter. I'm not picking up on any peanut butter, and I was really looking forward to that once I saw it. But I'm with
This
y'all.
is one of those beers that eventually one day they're going to put in a bourbon barrel to kick it up a notch, and they're going to ruin it. They're going to ruin it.
Yep.
Because this is good as it is.
Yeah.
In fact, Licking Hole, if I can tell you something, don't put this in a barrel.
Yeah.
This is as complex as it should ever be. Don't kick it up.
It's already been done 100 times over. I mean,
Yeah, stop putting shit in
Yes.
old barrels
Yeah.
and calling it
and
calling it
charging
the next
more for
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Like, God, like sometimes you want bourbon, and that's when you drink bourbon. I don't need bourbon in.
Now they're putting bourbon in IPA barrels.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm like,
mean-
yo, dude, what are you, why are we
trying to kill us all.
Why are we doing this? This is how fentanyl got in heroin. Stop mixing it up. You're killing people. That might have been a stretch, but you know what I'm saying.
Same thing.
It's a slippery slope. Troy, you're up.
I'm with you on. I'm with the both of you. I like it, and I like the way Brendan described it. Like it's a 3, but feeling the energy, feeling the
Yeah,
vibe,
feel the energy.
doing the bull dance. Let's go 3.5.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's Where's the Tylenol?
And
3.5.
I think
There you
3.5
go.
is the perfect number for it because we all like it, but it's not a deli.
So
No, and it lives in and allow that 3.5 to live in a vacuum because
Yes.
Yeah.
it's only good for one beer.
Yeah.
Like you can't drink more of this. Even though I'm gonna top off this bottle. Here. Because
I don't know if is this seasonal, because I definitely wouldn't have this in the summertime.
Don't let Ely hear that.
Yeah, no, he does not like the seasonal beer argument.
I mean, I can see it being.
I don't
like
think I would have this beer next hour, but in the moment,
I don't understand the not liking the like. I understand his side of the argument that a good beer is a good beer no matter what time of year it is, but if you're silly to think certain beers aren't better in certain situations.
But I agree with it. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Look, Hefeweizen is a summery beer. People love those white ales
Yeah.
and Hefeweizens.
Yeah.
Last night, 20-some degrees outside, I got myself a Hefeweizen first beer. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
sounds great. Like, beers are good all the time. They're better in certain times, but if
Yeah.
you like a beer, it's good all the time. It's just
we
better.
love all beer here.
God, we got issues.
significant.
We definitely do. But that's because we live in Beervana, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we are in a spot that is becoming very well known for its beer, and that was
and food. It's crazy.
we're blowing up. Man.
Yes.
We're blowing up. Stu showed me an article that the New York Times did that was about like all the places to visit in the world,
Top 52.
and they're like. They've got like Calcutta, like crazy stuff. You know, like they've got like, oh, you got to go to the Maldives Islands over here. Like it's all these like crazy places. Copenhagen. We're in fact,
It's
we're
like Lost
literally-
City of Atlanta. They're putting
So,
places on here
here's the
like
crazy-
you would
They've
never.
got us nestled between. What are the two?
So this is what's crazy. We're in between Copenhagen and Mount Kenya, but these are the places that we beat out. Richmond beat out. Spain. We beat out.
Menorca, Spain.
Yeah, Menorca, Spain. Germany.
Someplace in Germany, Plymouth, England.
Do you think those 52s are ranked like if you like start like one is number one? Like that's if you're gonna go to one place that you should go to the number one on the
They
list.
said number one is Washington.
Washington,
DC?
D.C.
No. Shit.
Washington State.
I think it was.
Oh, Stu, with your computers.
Yeah. This technology crap.
I
is
mean,
for the
literally,
birds.
we're on a list that has like Paris and Tokyo and
It
Sicily.
has places you've never heard of,
Yeah.
and I guess Richmond is that place to a lot
Yeah,
of people.
they've
Where?
They've got Washington, D.C. as the number one place to visit.
But you know what? If you're going for culture and all kinds of stuff, I mean, we've got a little bit of everything there.
Yeah.
But it's pretty amazing that Richmond, 20 years ago, Richmond was known as the murder capital of the country
Yeah.
at one
Per
point.
capita, yeah.
Per capita, yeah.
Yeah. Like we were not a good place. This town was best known for stabbings.
Yes.
Like, that's what we did better than anybody. You know what? I still take a
shootings.
little bit of pride in that. That we were the
We lived it
best
when it
at-
was not good.
Yeah, we were the best at stabbing people.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that sometimes I'll go somewhere, tell people where I'm from, and especially like if you go north or even west, they're like, aren't you guys still fighting the war there?
Oh yeah, they make
Yeah.
jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it's coming up to be 39th on a list of, and not in the country,
Yeah.
the whole damn world. These are the places you should go visit. I'm like, come on, that's
impressive.
crazy talk. And I noticed that change happening here back in like early 2000s because I remember I was coming down here when I was living in D.C. and I would come down here just for the weekends, and I was always like, man, the people here are nicer.
Yeah.
I like the vibe that's going on here. It's got a little bit of grit, but that grit is like, albeit it's born of a stabby nature. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how you get grit.
Yeah.
But
You
it was
can't fake
turning
street
in-
cred.
Yeah, exactly right. You get street cred from stabbing people.
Yeah.
So that kind of worked in our favor. But then it's like the food started coming, then the beer scene started coming. Our art scene was always here, and that we can owe to VCU. Let's be honest, because they have such a
Yeah.
good arts
Yeah.
program that it's just started pumping artists out into the streets, and artists can't make money, so they got to keep making art.
Yeah.
because it's a brutal job.
I mean, Richmond's come a long way because I remember in high school, we'd roll up to the hill and just park and you'd just hear gunshots.
Yeah, no, it was horrible, but
Now it's
that
now I take my kids there.
that dirty, shitty
Yeah.
underbelly that created it, when it started mixing with all the art scene, and then a certain amount, and people are going to think I'm absolutely crazy to say this, but tolerance.
Yeah.
There was some of that started to come up, and it was born of a place of intolerance,
Yep.
unfortunately, at one time, and it kind of turned into this thing. Dude, we don't suck. I'm actually proud of Richmond, and this is the only place I've ever lived like intentionally.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? I like it there. I'm going to go check it out. And I've been happy with it, but to see the revolution and the change that's occurred here.
Well, as someone who has lived in the area his whole life, like people that live here, it's just every day, and you forget the history, and you forget what you are close to, and you forget. Yeah. Oh, people travel here from other places to go to Jamestown, to go to Williamsburg, to go to the Appalachian Mountains, to go to Virginia Beach, to go to the former capital of the Confederacy and the capital of the state. Like people, there's a lot of history there that you just kind of.
But you drive through here to get to a lot of it.
Yes,
we're starting to kind of create our own vibe.
I mean,
I'm just psyched to see it up there.
Yeah. I mean, as I've gotten older, like there's still things that I didn't know you do in Richmond. Like you took it for granted, and it's like there's tons of stuff that if you, I mean, like you said, the history part, some of the museum tours. I mean, I still haven't done I love to do the haunted tour.
You know what Richmond did that was smart early on, and I don't know how many people are aware of this, but the reason the buildings look like they used to be is because in Richmond they didn't want to lose that. So you can buy a building, but they will give you a tax credit if you don't change the exterior of it. So if it was the Lucky Strike building and you keep the Lucky Strike, even though it's not in there anymore, then you get a tax credit or a tax break. So you're encouraged to keep it as the old tobacco warehouse, to keep it as whatever it was in one time. It actually costs you more money to put your name on it. Yeah. And so you have to be so certain you want your name. Otherwise, it's like, hey, it costs us less, and we just continue to be.
Who doesn't like that look too?
That's what was smart.
Yeah,
it kind of helped keep that edginess while getting rid of the stabbiness.
Yeah.
But keeping some of that edginess of the past, and it worked. And it's pretty. Obviously it's working.
I mean, I moved a couple into the old Nolte Bakery, the cookie factory that was up in Churchill. And now it's condominiums, and
but it still says it.
Yeah,
Oldie Bakery.
It's great. It's like cool.
And it's like that's not a famous brand, but you're like respect.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah,
I think our food, though, is what's taken us over the top. I mean, you can't go to a bad restaurant. You
crazy.
can. I take that back. I find them all the damn time. But, I mean.
Well, that's the problem. We have so many. The bad ones can still be around. But we have tons of good ones. Just in the fan area, you can't even.
Definitely. Give me another shot of that.
You can't even eat your way through the fan part of town. There's so many restaurants. It's crazy. You don't even know about most of them.
Well, I mean, and to the fact that we're 39 out of 52, and Richmond's getting its fair share of tourism, and now we've attracted what's going to be the world's largest surf park.
That's insane.
Yo, so I heard about that. So we have coming in now
into Chesterfield,
the world's largest surf park. I'm gonna live
the world's largest.
Yes,
East Coast, largest surf park. But from this point forward. The fact is, largest on the East Coast, going forward, the world's largest surf park in the world.
Yeah.
No, but it looks like it's going to be one hell of a complex. And then in the same breath, I see an article that says the Pamunkey Indian tribe announces plans for a casino right over in Manchester, which is still a little stabby.
Yeah.
So that's a bold move. My question with the casino, and I haven't seen this addressed, is this going to be just another slot machine
like the
thing?
Rosie's is,
Yeah,
or will they have tables?
Or are they going to have tables? Because
Yeah.
if you're an Indian casino, typically on Indian land, do they have some stake to that land? Can they?
No,
They must.
They bought the land.
But can you just? I thought you could only
Put the casino on your
if you were going to have a full blown casino. I thought you had to be on
the
your
reservation.
land, and you say we can build what we want. We'll govern it with our rules, so you can have table games and you can have all that. This is built here in Richmond. Are they going to have that?
I don't know.
I don't know how that works.
I had honestly hadn't heard about it till you guys brought it up, or the surf thing. That's insane to me because, to me, it's fucking cold outside right now.
Yeah, but dude, I'm psyched.
But is it indoors? How does this surf thing?
No, it's outdoors. So
we're gonna lose it. There's gonna be times a year you don't go, right?
Well, there's a huge lake there that you can always paddleboard, do things like that, and you can you can go out there and canoe when it's cold. I mean, it can be done.
Yeah.
The surfing, that's going to be interesting. But what I'm most excited about, they're going to have one of those line systems where you can wakeboard, where it pulls you, so you don't even need a boat.
Yep.
Dude, I love wakeboarding, but I don't have a boat.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure at some point they'll probably turn into like ice skating too.
This is going to help me increase my concussion number dramatically.
There you
I'm
go.
psyched about that. Like, this is going to be good.
I've never wakeboarded. I've always wanted to try it, but
It ain't easy.
Every time I go out on a boat, I don't want to ask somebody to do it because I know, like, that's no fun for them.
Yeah.
Like, watching someone else wakeboard is no fun.
Tell you what, lake guy, you get a boat, and I will gladly sit out there and tow your ass around and stay sober and allow you to do it, because it takes a certain level of patience, because it's brutal trying to teach. The hardest part about wakeboarding is standing up.
It'll take me 5 minutes.
It'll take you 5 days.
I've been skiing my whole life.
I said getting up on a wakeboard, not skiing.
I learned to water ski when I was 5.
I get it.
I
Getting
started slalom
up
skiing
out
when
of
I
the
was
water
9.
is a very different.
Can you go straight from the dock onto
It's
onto a
easier
board?
that way.
I assume I could, because I can do everything. But
My boat that I get will not be able to tow wakeboarders. I can tell you that.
okay, well, we need to
That's
get
a
our
real
hands
boat.
on one, because it took me literally 4 times going out before I ever popped up. Unfortunately, like, it's a really foreign feeling.
Yeah,
how
because
you have to
it's
maneuver your
it's
body.
flat. It's just flat. There's no fins.
Well, there are little fins. There's just a little.
On either end, right?
It's just a little. It depends on the board. But
It's real. It's slippery.
it's all about. There's a technique to getting out of the water. We can get into it like off air. Like, I can walk you through it as best I can. But it's really foreign. It's really odd. Once you get it, though, it's like.
I can do it.
You may. Yeah, I've seen people go out there on their first time, and like the second or third pull, they pop up and they're like, "Oh, this is sweet."
Yeah.
And once you're up, yes, all that skiing and all those things that you've done all those times, it'll come into play immediately, and you'll get it, and you'll feel very comfortable. It's getting out of the water to a standing position that is really odd.
Yeah.
I've never. I take that back. I tried it one time and I couldn't get up, but I slalom. I
Stupid.
couldn't get up. I
That's
can't,
'cause he's old.
Yeah.
So
Where's
old.
that?
40's the new 70.
Sponsored by Hims.
Not hymns, dude. We're not doing hymns.
Dude, I saw that commercial again like 2 weeks ago and just laughed again. Like the blowing
Hims
the
is-
bubbles out of the tub and dude twerking. I was like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not. You're not.
Hims is 100 because you got Romans and you've got all these other companies that are trying to get like straight dudes dick hard.
Yeah.
And Hims is like, well, all dudes want to hump and run into this. Why don't we just take a little different angle here, and we'll go after guys who maybe dig dudes.
And maybe they'll buy 2 units for every household.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant.
This household's getting twice as much hymns.
That is smart. They're smart.
Yeah.
But if you look at their ads, it's all emojis and tongues out, like dudes in the shower and like
Blowing
doing
bubbles
that.
at you.
Yeah, and I'm just
At
like
the camera.
every one of those guys. Like, you look at these other companies like Nugenics, you got like Frank Thomas, the big hurt, coming out like a man's man. And then you get Hims, and it's like some dainty guy, like, yeah.
That one still gets me too because Frank Thomas is like talking to the smoking hot chicks, and one of the husbands comes up, and he's like, he's totally cool with Frank Thomas, just
Chatting up his wife.
and the wives being like, "You look great," and he's like, and then the dude comes up, he's like, "You look like you could still mash it." It's like.
And the dude's walking up with
he's
his
tiny.
with his flaccid penis that hasn't gotten hard in 10 years. And
He's
Frank
5'8",
Thomas is
145 pounds.
Frank Thomas is like, I've still got my morning wood from yesterday. I will crush your wife on your behalf. He's like, thanks, Frank. You're the best.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame numbers.
You were such a great baseball player. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Like, wait, huh?
Baby, I got it. Frank will take Nugenics.
That's right.
And I won't. And he can just come over and he can satisfy your needs. And I can go downstairs and whack my limp dick to him's ass.
And Frank Thomas banging you out.
Yeah, this is going great.
This is going great.
Hey, Frank Thomas must be sore.
So I was going to answer your quick question.
Yeah, I don't even know what question I'm asking.
The gaming is the new Pamunkey Casino. It's under the federal. It's one of the only tribes in Virginia to be under the federal gaming rights. So that means they'll be able to do everything as far as
Then
gambling.
that's awesome. So we're going to have a serious casino, which I'm not a casino guy, but one day when they get legalized sports gambling,
Yeah.
boy, my kids are either going to a great college or
Or not.
Yeah. They say it's going to draw probably 4 million people a year
Yeah, I could
to
see
Richmond.
that. And think about that. So if we have a big old surf park, which will also do whitewater rafting,
Yeah.
they'll be able to host events there. They'll be able to do all kinds of cool stuff around.
That's going to bring both those will bring hotels. And
then
more
you're gonna have
restaurants.
gaming over here. Plus, then you go into the post stabbing world that is downtown Richmond.
Well, it's going to be at
with the
4th
great
and,
food.
4th and Maury.
Oh, it's going to be on the Manchester side.
Yeah, Manchester side. So
which is a up and coming side.
It's been up and coming.
But
since the 1840s.
have you been down? Have you been down there
It's been
in the past 10 years? They put a ton of nice apartments and condos
Yeah,
down
you
there.
seen
Like,
a grocery store down there?
nope.
they don't have one down there yet, do they?
No, it's
But
unbelievable.
downtown didn't have one for the longest time either. I don't know if you remember before the one that showed up down at like 23rd Street.
It just breaks my heart. They keep building this up, and like, there's nowhere to get
Yeah.
food.
Well, the other thing too is,
and yet I got 7 grocery
Oh my
stores.
God.
within,
We
like,
have
2
so many
miles
grocery
from here.
stores in here, and we're just steady building them.
Yeah, but could you put one downtown?
Yeah.
Because you keep building apartments. Now I'm getting on my soapbox a little bit, but it's frustrating as shit.
Yeah.
Now, the Pamunkey tribe did say that they're going to build a facility, and that facility will be used for training while they build the rest of the casino.
right.
So they're building that facility first, and then they said after that, we'll sell it, and it'll either be a grocery store or like a clinic of some sort.
Yeah.
Which sounds great, but if there's anything I know about building something and selling, it's whoever pays you the most.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in and goes, "No, I want to make socks there," you're like, "Yeah, sold."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you paid more.
Or store socks there.
Yeah,
Just
like
be a
any number of
warehouse,
stupid things. So I really hope they just put a grocery store in. I'm not asking.
Well, we
too
build
much.
grocery stores here, and then they close a year later, and then we tear them down and build new grocery stores in their site.
Yep.
Put a grocery store there.
I don't understand it.
I literally have so many grocery stores here.
I'm getting ready to open another
There's
one.
11 brands, I think, in Richmond.
Yeah, and I got most of them within 2 miles of my house.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep.
I literally go to different grocery stores for different things now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll be like, I just want a quick thing. I'll go here. I don't want to deal with crowds. I'm going to go to that grocery store.
Which is a headache.
It's a little odd.
Yeah.
I do grocery runs sometimes where I have to go to two different stores because I know that there's different things.
Yeah.
And I become so spoiled that I will literally go to different stores to get different things.
Yeah.
Mostly
we
if
usually
I'm trying to
do-
find hot honey. Long story.
Usually we do Kroger and Costco, our main store runs. But, I mean, that's why we don't get to the Lidls and the Aldis, because it's like I can't just go there and buy stuff.
You know
Like-
what's funny about the Aldi?
Their potato chips are better than everyone else's.
Well,
It's a whole other.
next time you take a look at
amazing.
where an Aldi is, it's within a 300 feet of an apartment complex.
Yeah, that
That
almost
makes
always adds up.
Because their pricing is pretty inexpensive.
I think
don't
it's
have a whole
Aldi.
lot, but
Stu, look up where you get Clancy's potato chips. I believe it's either Aldi or Lidl.
Well, in
One of those are the
Aldi,
same company.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of dirty German stuff.
But that makes sense. If you're in an apartment complex, you don't have a lot of storage, so you can go to the market on a daily basis or every other day, and that's the type of markets they are.
Clancy's is at Aldi's. I've got.
okay,
Yeah.
so Clancy's is this like low rent potato chip.
It
that-
looks cheap as hell.
dude. It costs nothing, and you can only get them in Aldi's.
Yeah.
Dude, Clancy's
What flavor
are
do
the,
you
it's
get?
any flavor you
Yeah,
want.
but what do you like is what I'm asking.
I mean, I've only had the original and I think like the sour cream and onion.
Uh-huh.
But I'm telling you, Clancy's potato chips cost half what they cost for like other chips, and they're phenomenal. Like
There's
they're
a whole article about let the face-off begin between Doritos and Clancy's.
yeah, why not? I'm telling you, a Clancy's chip is phenomenal. Someone brought them over here this year, like on their food day. It was our buddy Andy. He brought them over. And he put them out, and I'm like, I'm making fun of him, right? I'm like, you brought Clancy's chips, like some no-name stuff. I was like, you are so cheap. And then after like 10 minutes, I'm like, hey, man, I owe you an apology. This is better than any chip that anyone has brought in here. And now I will seek it out. Like, Clancy's chips are phenomenal.
Now I'm going to have to try them.
And they're
I might swing by on the way home and grab a bag.
grab a bag of Clancy's chips. You will be very impressed. They
Nice.
sit somewhere between a standard chip and a kettle cooked chip. It's like they're kind of like mixing the two things I like. It's
I'm still a
damn
big.
good.
My go-to would be Zapp's. That's my go-to.
But
Zapp's is good.
Zapp's is a high-end chip. It's a kettle cooked chip with amazing different flavors.
Oh, and you could probably get 12 bags of Clancy's for one bag of.
Yeah. And the
Zapp's.
Zapp's does that voodoo style chip, which is phenomenal. And then what I just recently found, thanks to you, was the jalapeno
Yep.
Yeah.
Zapp's. That's better than the voodoo.
Yeah, they
And the voodoo's phenomenal.
It builds up on.
I
it.
love, and they're hard to find. I love Gibbles.
I've never had a Gibbles.
Gibbles is hard to
We need a
find.
Clancy and Gibbles off. Now, is Gibbles cheap?
They're about the same as most. I like they make a red hot one that is my favorite. But they're like you always found them at like
Oh, I've seen
like
these.
country stores.
Yeah,
like
yeah. These are the ones that you get at like the dirty ass like gas
Yeah.
station out in the country.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it's got Gibbles, and you're like, what the hell is this? And you're
Yeah.
like, these are really good.
Yeah.
I have had Gibbles.
There's none close near.
No.
Anywhere.
Our sheets sold them until they closed and renovated, and I went in the other
It's
day
too
and
high
they don't
end.
have it now.
Well, just go get some Clancy's.
I'll
Stop
have to try it.
stop overthinking this.
Yeah.
If you're not getting Pringles because they live in their own little world,
Yeah.
get some Clancy's.
Clancy's potatoes.
We're solving problems, people.
First world
we're,
problems.
We're bringing you the answers here.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
If you're trying to save money and need a good chip, I would recommend the Aldi Clancy.
Speaking of chips, did you see they officially came out with a name for the orange dust that gets on your
Dude.
hands?
There is a name for it. I saw it.
Why did they do that?
I guess you have to name it anything. I know what
Do
it is,
ya?
too. You're over there Googling frantically. It's called Cheetle.
Cheetle.
Cheetle is what they call the residue on your fingers, because it used to just be called Cheetos fingers.
Yeah,
You
Cheeto
eat a bunch of
dust or-
Cheetos.
yeah.
And it was a surefire sign that this girl you're dating is going to be really big one day. You know, she always had the orange fingers. But now you know what it is. It's Cheetle.
You can buy the dust.
You can buy
literally
Cheetle? You mean
Shop
Cheetle?
Cheetos dust.
It's Cheetle.
You can literally buy Cheetle.
Cheetos dust. That's crazy.
Dude, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Shop Cheetos dust for sale.
Oh,
2-day
here's-
shipping.
Now that I'm looking at that, I found here's a pro tip for you.
Uh-huh.
Because if you go out and buy like cheddar cheese flavor for your popcorn, or say you go out and buy like microwave popcorn that's like
Yeah,
cheddar
yeah, yeah.
cheese flavor, it's always like
Yeah.
it's not that great. And then you can buy cheddar cheese flavor, and they charge an exorbitant amount of money for it.
Yeah.
But you can go out and you can buy a box of Kraft mac and cheese for 69 cents.
Oh,
No,
and use
and
their
just use the
powder?
Dude,
Have you done
so
this?
good.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like, I'm reading all these articles that like people are like, this is the greatest thing you've ever done. Like it's the same shit, except it's actually a little better grade than the
Yeah.
Kraft. And they're charging like $8.
Oh, yeah, you
For
get a
a bag
little
of
shaker
seasoning.
of it, and it's
Yeah.
$8.
And you can go buy 69-cent Kraft mac and
then you're
cheese
stuck
on
with
sale.
boring ass bland mac
We
and
should
cheese.
go get some. We should go get. Well, yeah. I mean, you're buying it for the flavoring at this point. But if you're,
Make butter noodles or something.
yeah, you still have noodles. I mean,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
use them. But if you're looking for a life hack,
There you go.
You go buy the Kraft mac and cheese and dump that on your popcorn.
Exactly.
Living the dream. Can't say I've had it.
Just saw it.
but I keep reading
The
about
reviews
it.
are
and I'm like-
in, so
No, I mean, like I'm seeing people talking about this everywhere. I'm like, I've got to try this.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about it like I've had it. I get that, but I've been drinking.
I thought you were going to say, like, you make the mac and cheese and you pour it over the popcorn.
That would be some
That
next
would
level
be-
shit. But that's some soggy mac and cheese. I mean, if
Soggy
you-
popcorn.
Soggy popcorn.
Yeah, that's what cheese. All right.
Things are
I'm
just
picking up
sticking
what you're
together.
putting down.
All right, we could shut this down.
Yeah.
I'm starting. My face is starting to go numb. Like, I'm starting to lose it over here.
There's coffee and peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm all
Chips.
I'm all jacked up.
All
and
jacked up a Mountain Dew.
It's like my brain is firing like a million times a minute, and my legs are like, "Are you still standing, bro?" It's very odd out here.
Yeah, this is
Been a
between
long
the
day.
Coffee and the
The day ain't over, man.
No.
The playoff football on.
Yeah.
We're just going into halftime of the first game.
Yep.
I plan on sitting here and watching at least the rest of this game and drinking beers.
That boozy espresso and then that beer, like, now I want
to drink.
keep going on. I want to
Hey,
keep
keep going.
the
Yeah, but
day
don't
going.
you have to go home and like cook dinner for your
Yeah, I
whole
gotta go home
family
and cook,
like
so
you got a big day ahead.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you
Troy's
can't
gonna be
have
in
a
Doesn't mean
beer.
I can't.
Troy's
That's
gonna
right.
be in front of that grill just flipping burgers.
Yeah.
Let's go frantic.
We'll send you home with the to-go espresso with the tarnished truth in there.
Hands shaking. I can't flip the burgers.
Somebody light this grill for me. Can't turn the knob.
Kids come out here. I got stories to tell, and I can't move.
I think I'm going to move the grilling to the indoors. I think I'm just going to stovetop and oven it because it's going to be dark and cold, and I ain't standing out there in the dark and cold.
There's some truth to that. You don't necessarily.
Because I haven't even fired the grill up yet, and by the time I get home and fire the grill up, it will be dark. So that's not gonna
there's
happen.
truth to that.
Yeah.
But I would almost rather cook in the dark because the burgers would be that much better.
And the chicken wings I bought to grill.
Oh, you're cooking chicken wings?
Yeah.
Charcoal?
You can't do those inside.
You going
I'm
charcoal?
going to. No, I'm gonna throw them in the oven.
No, I mean, would you?
Yeah,
use
charcoal.
charcoal.
I got rid of my gas. I think I told you I got rid of my gas grill like 3 or 4 years ago and have not looked back. Like
Nah,
it really isn't that big of a
not,
problem.
But it's
like,
not as good. It's just not as
it's
good.
Not. It's really not.
Like I've given up. If you get good charcoal, like the problem is that people grew up on like Matchlight.
Yeah.
And then they're like, this doesn't taste great.
You got to have that charcoal chimney, and then it fires right up, and never fuck with, if it says Matchlight or any of that stuff, fucking
don't touch it.
Don't even touch it.
I remember I grew up on Matchlight, and then all of a sudden my dad, like, it was the hickory chips.
Dude,
that
you
started
open
getting
that
thrown
Matchlight
in.
stuff, and you just smell
Lighter fluid.
Poison.
Straight
poison.
It's chemical. You're like,
ooh, let's light that poison on fire and smoke these burgers out. No, I'm good.
yeah.
Speaking of football, real quick, go Tigers! LSU national champs.
Yeah, congratulations on your
Good
W.
one.
I see you're still wearing your colors.
Yeah.
That's nice, man.
That
That's
was a
nice.
Fun little road. Congratulations to the Bengals. We'll pick up Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. And congratulations to Odell Beckham Jr. for handing money to a bunch of kids who can't accept money and slapping a cop on the ass. Well done, OJ.
I think they dismissed it, but yeah, there was a arrest out
They
for him.
did, but what kind of... This dude lost his damn mind. I get that he was excited.
Let me take his defense here. What the hell is a rental cop doing inside of a locker room after they win the national title? Nothing's going on in there that you need to be a part of.
Let me take the other side. What the fuck is Odell Beckham Jr. doing?
Well, that's his school.
But it's not on the team.
No, but
I mean, he could be.
I'm sure he's a big donor, and he went to LSU.
He's an alumni, but the only problem was that that made that entire scene about him and not the team.
That's exactly the
Which
issue.
Which is, okay, these are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that are enjoying the spotlight.
And he's taking
it. Made it about him. I don't know if you know this about the guy. That's what he does.
I know.
That's on brand for Odell Beckham Jr. Like,
oh, shit, that's killing me. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we shocked at this? I guess is really the question.
And in his defense, like, I saw the video. He smacked that dude's ass. Should he have done it? No.
It was a dude?
Yeah. It was a rent-a-cop. And it's like, you shouldn't have touched him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You're in a football freaking locker room after a national championships.
This is
Guess
what you
happens?
do.
Asses get smacked.
I didn't know it was a dude.
Yeah.
I thought this was
Assume
another
there's a lady.
instance where, like, you smacked a female cop.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Like, you've... But a dude, like...
So I heard the dude was in there because...
That's what you
They were
do?
smoking cigars, and you're not supposed to be smoking in there.
Yeah, that's true. So they're in the dome, in Superdome. There's no smoking policy, but they lit up cigars anyway. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's Louisiana. Nobody's getting arrested. Nobody gives a shit.
Isn't this the state that has drive-through
daiquiri
liquor?
shops?
Yeah. So they literally...
The fact is, it's a
Come
state-of-the-art
on.
facility, fully sprinklered, fully fire alarmed.
Yeah.
They're smoking cigars. They just won a national title. Like, let them be for an hour. Nothing bad's going to happen in there. Yeah, you don't want 100,000 fans smoking in there at the same time.
Yeah, but how about the handful of guys that just busted their ass all year and won the national championship?
Right.
Enjoy your cigar.
Yeah.
You're in the locker room. You can't bring it out of the locker room.
Exactly.
We're going to make an exception. But no ass smacking, Odell.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's your $600 fine.
Yeah. As he's handing out thousands of dollars
Can
to
I pay
kids.
this? Can I pay
So
this?
are those kids going to get in trouble because they
I
accepted
think they were all
money?
seniors, and I think Joe Burrow even said, like, I'm not part of the NCAA anymore. Thank you.
Yeah, and he already graduated.
Yeah.
Like, so he graduated before the season even started.
Yeah, he
was
graduated
taking
last
online
year.
He's
classes.
23 years old. He already graduated, and that was part of why they said he was such a good quarterback for the college level was he spent all of his day in film. Like, that's what he did.
He took like 2 online. He didn't even go to classes. He took online classes.
Oh, minor correction. none of those kids go to
Well,
class.
of course. Yeah.
None of those kids go
But
to
a lot
class.
of them live on campus at least.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
He was a gun for hire.
I've heard so many stories about this.
Yeah.
Like, not even in like this day and age. I remember one day, like my dad telling me, like back in the '60s at FSU, like he got lost on campus and he accidentally walked into the wrong, like he opened the wrong door looking for the cafeteria,
Yeah.
and he went in and there's all these like huge dudes in there, and it was all like steaks, like they were like carving like pot roast,
yeah.
Yeah.
and he was a freshman, like this place has the best meal plan ever, and then they were like, kid, you can't be in here, like.
Yeah.
Get out of here. He's like, oh. And then I remember my brother telling me stories that he had a class. He went to University of Arizona, and he had a class with like a handful of like basketball players in there. And he's like, never once did I see anybody from our basketball team in the class, but you would have these different faces show up,
Yep.
Every once in a while.
taking notes
Yep.
and taking different things. And the kids never showed up for tests. So I don't know if they're taking the test elsewhere, if someone else is taking the test. But I mean, this was like, this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's gotten so much worse.
Well,
I know at VCU they had a whole student athlete section at the Siegel Center that was so at first it was a like a ballet class, like it was just a dance hall.
Yeah.
Like mirrors and bars on the wall.
Mhm.
They turned it into a computer lab, and every time I went in there'd be athletes in there, and then there'd be tutors with each athlete. Like they get special help, which I mean that's on all levels.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
That's-
they?
Oh, isn't it? Is it next
How
year?
long has that dude been behind me?
10
20 minutes.
Holy shit.
My brother showed up.
I just
Freaked
turned,
Brendan out.
I just turned around. There's a dude behind me. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, but is it next year that the athletes get to make money off the royalties or the jersey sales? Didn't that come down the pipeline?
Dude, they should be getting money every step of the way if they're positive enough, they're doing good enough that people want their stuff.
Yeah.
Make the damn money. I'm just like, I can't understand that I can't go out and sign something and get paid $10 to do it. That's an infraction, and you're going to kick me out of school. That's ludicrous.
That seems silly.
I mean, that's insane. If you're making like boatloads of money and you're spending all your time doing all these other things outside of school, like I get that might be a conflict of interest, but come on.
Yeah.
On the weekend, on my time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's a slippery slope. I can argue for and against it. I mean, they are getting us. I mean, anyone who's sending anyone to college knows how much that costs. So to get that for free is kind of a nice little trade-off.
Yeah, but the trade-off is they're getting it all for free, and they're only using a year or two.
Yeah.
But the school's still making a ton of money off.
Oh,
of
the
it.
school makes it.
Yeah.
The school makes more than the kids get back. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to school 4 years on a scholarship and it saves you $150,000, $200,000, that's great. But if you're one of these, top tier athletes, they're making millions and millions and millions off you. So it's kind of like,
You can make a little money,
Yeah.
and you're doing it your own way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's a whole other
Yeah.
topic for
Well,
a whole
on
nother
can't
time.
go down- we
on
can't
that
go down
note,
there.
and that espresso,
Dude, so jacked up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go have another one because I
That's a good
want
idea.
to shake through the night.
stay
Yeah.
tuned. We're not going to hang up. We're going to keep this podcast going for another 2 hours.
Right. I'm gonna go get the coolers. Hola. Adios.
We're leaving. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. We love having you guys tune in. We love feedback though, and I have noticed a lull
Yes.
in the feedback. If you guys want to send topics to us, please do so at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You can always reach out to us on the Facebook page. We'd be glad to hear your topics, what you got going on, and talk about it, because Lord knows it's hard to come up with all these topics
Yeah.
all the damn time. And I
we
wanna
make
know-
it look easy.
well,
Yeah.
that we do. That
Our
we
lives
do.
are that exciting.
If you want to get 30% off sunglasses, do yourself a favor. Check out nectarsunglasses.com. Drop ITPH in the coupon code. It's not a bad idea. You're going to look better than you did the day before, and it's going to cost you less than everybody else who did it.
For sure.
Smart. Reach out to us at ITPH Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't had a chance to sign up your coworker, your best friend, your neighbor, that dude you don't like, I don't care who it is, grab their phone, sign them up, subscribe them to Inside the Pallet House. That way they're in the know. And
There
we
you
get
go.
the downloads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out.
That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?